Namaste and welcome everybody. My name is Billy Carroll and I will be leading you through a gentle movement yoga practice. And I'm grateful you joined me today. So I have a little bit of a cold. I hope you can hear me okay. And I just wanted to let you know that I practice one rule in my class, and that rule is that you honor your body, your mind, and your spirit. So if something doesn't feel good to you, either one of those, your mind, your body, your spirit, then please come to stillness, find a movement that does feel good to you. Because I want you to be in alignment with who you are. Yoga is about being in alignment with who we are. And so to do that, we honor our body, our mind, and our spirit. All right. And I also wanted to talk about in this practice, let's look just for sensation, right? We don't necessarily have to have an intense stretch, but just looking for some sensation in what we do in our poses. So the props I'm going to use, and I'm not sure if I'm going to use them, but I always like to have them available, are blocks and a blanket, especially the blanket. I feel much more supported when I sit on the edge of the blanket when we go to the seated pose. But for today, we're actually going to start standing. So what I'm going to invite you to do, everything in this class is by invitation, is just to find a comfortable, supported standing pose for you. I like to stand with my feet about hip width apart. And then maybe just rock back and forth from the heels to the balls of the toes. And get a really good sense of the earth beneath you. And then find the middle ground between the heels and the balls of the toes. And just let yourself rest there. And then once we find our foundation, what I'm going to suggest is to bring your hands somewhere on the front part of your body, wherever that feels comfortable for you. So for me, my hands can be up and then a little bit lower. And it doesn't matter which hand is where. And then let's just focus on our breath. So maybe not trying to manipulate the breath or force the breath, but just notice the sensation, right? The sensation of our breathing. And noticing maybe that our hands move, depending on where they are, and maybe they don't. Noticing where you feel the air move into the body. And noticing where you feel the sensation when the air leaves your body. And maybe those two places are different. And then if you'd like to join me, let's take a big releasing breath together. So inhaling, deep inhale, and just pause your breath. We're not contracting it when we pause, we're just pausing. And then sighing it out as loudly as you would like. And then releasing your arms down. Now, we're going to start working with the body. We're going to start with the right side. So we're going to take our right foot behind us and press into the ball mound of the foot. I'm going to turn to the side so you can see me a little better. So taking the right foot behind you, press into the ball mound of your foot. And make sure that you feel supported and stable here. And then go into your movement. And perhaps notice any sensations that you're already starting to feel. And then from here, we're going to bend the knee and just move the knee in circles. And then come to stillness and go the opposite direction. So I jokingly like to call this sequence oiling the Tin Man, because sometimes I feel like the Tin Man from the Wizard of Oz, especially in the winter. And then come to stillness. Then we'll bring that right foot to meet the left. And you might notice difference in sensation already in what we've done. And then we'll bring the left foot back, press into the ball mound, and move the knee. One side might feel different than the other. One side might feel easier or more complicated to do. And then come to stillness. And we'll go in the opposite direction here. Good work. All right. And then come to stillness, and we'll bring that left foot to meet the right. Now, bringing your hands somewhere on your body that feels good. Let's just move in a circular direction, warming up the low back here. And you can keep a bend in the knee if that feels better to you. And maybe notice, where are you feeling this today? And then come to stillness, and let's go in the opposite direction. Awesome, awesome, awesome. And then coming to stillness, let's release the hands down. Working with our neck. Now be careful, listen to what your neck has to say to you. So we're just gonna pretend like we have a pencil on the end of our nose, and we're just gonna draw circles in the air. Starting with one direction. And this is where snap, crackle, and pop usually come into the class for me, especially crackle. Good work. And then coming to stillness. And let's go in the opposite direction. And then come to stillness. Now, bringing your elbows together as best you can, right? Mother Nature gave me a little extra blessing, so sometimes my elbows like to separate. And we're just gonna bring our hands together and interlace our fingers. I'm gonna step a little closer so you can see me. And we're just gonna rotate the wrist, going in one direction. Great. And then going in the opposite direction. Good work. And then come to stillness and release the hands down. Now let's take our feet a little bit wide. Maybe as wide as your mat, maybe wider depending on how supported you feel. And we're going to keep a slight bend in the knee. And then we're just going to twirl. Right? Now you can give yourself little love taps if you'd like. Gently bring your hands to your body. Or you can just keep the hands away from the body, kind of floating in the air, but just twirling from side to side. And if you start to feel dizzy, please feel free to come to stillness. And then we're going to slow down before we come to a complete stop. Once you come to a complete stop, if you're feeling a little unsteady, if you're feeling a little dizzy, interlace your fingers, bring your thumb knuckles together, and just stare at your thumb knuckles, breathing in deeply, breathing out slowly. All right. And then let's bring the feet back together. We're going to bring them close together as possible. Okay. We're going to put a bend in through the knees. Now, depending on where you are in your body, you can place your hands on your knees or your thighs or keep them someplace else and just rotate through the knees. Good work. I'm going to go to the opposite direction. And it doesn't have to be a big bend. It can be a small bend in the knees. That's fine too. Good. And then come to stillness and come to standing. Come to a comfortable standing pose. Let's take another deep breath in through the nose and sigh it out. And then pause here and notice the work that you've done. Notice if there's been any shifts or any changes, and if you like those shifts and changes. And then when you're ready, let's bring the feet, let's come back to that supported stance, right? Maybe rock back and forth, find the middle again. And because we're working with sensation today, let's work with a little bit of sound, okay? So we're going to use the sounds ah, oh, Again, that's ah, oh, okay? You might feel a different vibration with each one. And you're welcome just to join me in using those sounds, or if you'd like to add the movement we're going to do with them, feel free to do that as well. I'm going to back up a little bit, so hopefully you can get all of my arms in here. So we start with the ah, the arms down beside us, and we go into ah, and then we get to about, I think this is 60 degrees. I wasn't great in geometry. We change to ooh, and then we bring the hands, the palms touch up overhead. Once the palms touch, we come into we bring the hands back to the heart center. Okay. So if you'd like to join me, I'm going to do 3 rounds of these. And let's just start with the arms beside us. We'll take a deep breath in and a slow breath out. And then inhale for the first sound. Ah, now, if you move slower or faster than I do, that's fine. It's up to you to figure out what's best for your practice. All right, so we'll do the second round. We'll take a breath in for the second round. Releasing, coming into the third round, third and final round. Inhale. Just keep the hands at the heart. We'll take a breath in and a breath out. Now, with the hands pressed together, really press into the palms. Feel the sensations of the palms pressing together. Your elbows might come out a little bit more, right? So we're just going to turn our head to the right. I'm going to stay here for a few breaths. Now, you might feel the sensation like you want to yawn or to sigh. Please feel free to do either or both. And if neither one comes up for you, that's fine. And then gently bring the head back to center. Palms are still pressing into each other. And we'll take our head over to the left. One side might be different than the other. Notice the different sensations if you can. And once again, you might feel the urge to yawn or to sigh. And then slowly bring the head back to center. Release the hands down, give them a little bit of a shake. All right, so from here, we're going to do a movement and breath practice combined together. And I'm going to invite you to make sure you have plenty of wingspan for this. So we're going to start by taking our feet wide. Okay? Maybe as wide as our mat, maybe a little wider. And this is a 6-part breath practice. So to do this practice, what we do is we inhale, and we're going to take our arms out beside us into a T. As we exhale, we fold forward. Then we're going to inhale, bring our hands together. As you exhale, exhale forcefully through the mouth and bring your hands between your feet, bending the knees. Make sure you bend the knees to protect the low back. And then bring the palms together. We're going to inhale, come all the way up, and exhale at the heart. Okay? I'm going to turn to the side so maybe you can see me a little bit better. We'll do 3 of these. You can, if you don't feel like joining me, don't worry about it. This may not be for you. This helps to give you a little bit more energy. So notice the sensation change in your body. So we'll start with the arms down beside us. Slight bend in the knee. Inhale out. Exhale forward. Inhale together. Exhale forcefully through the feet. Knees are bent. Inhale, palms together all the way up. Exhale at the heart. Okay. Inhale out. Exhale, fold. Inhale, hands together. Exhale forcefully through hands through the feet. Inhale all the way up. Exhale at the heart. And I'll come back this way for the last one. Inhale out. Exhale forward. Inhale, hands together. Exhale through the feet. Inhale all the way up. And exhale at your heart. And then take a deep breath in. And slowly let it go. And releasing the hands down. Bring the feet together and give them a gentle shake. All right. And then coming to stillness, let's work a little bit with balance. All right, so we're working a little bit with the balancing. Now the wall is my friend, so if you need to use a wall, a chair, or anything else, feel free to do so. We're not going to do anything too crazy today. So I'm going to turn to the side so you can see my legs. We're just going to find that supported standing position again. Maybe rocking back and forth and finding the middle. And then the secret to a good balancing pose is kind of where you focus. So find something directly in front of you that doesn't move, right? And see if you can bring all of your focus there. That's called a drishti in yoga. So finding your drishti in front of you. And then we're just going to start with the right leg, and we're going to bring that right leg, the ball of the right foot behind us. And we'll bring our hands to our heart. Now, maybe this is your pose. If this feels good to you, if you like the sensation, you're welcome to stay there. Or you can bring your arms behind you, or not behind you, but beside you, opening up through the heart space. And maybe lift that right foot off the floor, maybe. And just take a few breaths. Noticing any sensations that may be going on. And then release the foot down. Bring the hands back to the heart. Bring the right foot to meet the left. And shake out both legs. Shake out the arms. And let go. Okay. And then from here, we'll go to the other side. So taking that left foot back, finding your dristi, right? Coming onto the ball mound with that left foot, finding your focal point, bringing the hands to the heart. Once you feel balanced here, once you feel stable here, maybe this is where you want to hang out. Or you can bring your arms behind you. You can lift that left foot off the floor. Remember your breath. A lot of people I see, they get into balancing poses and they hold their breath. That is the quickest way to come out. Bring the hands back to center. And then bring your left foot to meet your right. Shake out the legs. And shake out the arms. And then let's take another deep breath in and sigh it out. When you feel ready, I'm going to invite you to make your way to a seated position on the mat, however you would like to get there. Blocks are always helpful to coming back down to the floor. We can use them as supports. And then, as I said at the beginning, I like to sit on the edge of a folded blanket to give my hips a little bit more raised, so my spine feels more supported. Now let's just start by taking our legs out in front of us. We'll point and flex our feet. Then rotate the ankles with the feet going away from each other and rotating with them coming in. Okay. Then coming to stillness. And I'm going to invite you just to kind of shift around till you feel supported in your seat. And we're going to bend this right knee and bring it in towards our body, give me a little bit of a hug. Now I got a little extra blessing in the front, so I just move it to the side. And take a few breaths here. And then just let that right knee come out to the side. Now, your choice, we're going to fold forward. And so you can either fold forward inside that left leg or over that left leg, whichever feels best to you. So we're going to inhale, rise up, and exhale, fold. And then once you start to feel sensation, just soften the rest of your body. So let the shoulders go, the jaw, we have a tendency to grip through our jaw, and find your breath. Notice your sensations. And then slowly start to ease up. And we'll help this right knee up and take it long. We'll move over to the other side. One side might be different. So bending the left knee, bringing it in, giving it a little hug. And then letting it come out to the side. And this is also a place where blocks might be helpful if your knee doesn't come all the way down to the floor, or if you need a little support underneath that extended knee. And then choosing where you would like to go in your fold. We'll inhale up and exhale, fold. Softening towards the earth. Noticing the sensations, and maybe the sensations are different on the side. And then slowly coming up again. Helping this left knee up. Taking both legs long. Let's point and flex through the feet. Okay. Now we're going to come onto our backs. I recommend turning to your right side and then coming onto your back. That seems to be more friendly to our nervous system. So turning onto your right side. And then roll it onto your back and place both feet on the mat. And just windshield wiper your knees left to right. Give that low back a nice massage. And then come to stillness. And let's bring our right ankle right below the left knee. So you're creating what looks a little bit like a figure four. Your arms can be beside you, they can be goalposts, they can be out to T. What feels good to your body? What sensation feels good to your body? And then from here, let's take the shape over to the left. Now, your right foot might touch the earth, or it might touch a block, or it might touch a blanket or a pillow, right? What do you need today? And just take a few breaths here. Noticing sensation. If sensation gets to be too intense, you can always come up just a little bit or a lot. And then bringing this whole shape back to center. Let's take that right leg straight up to sky, give it a bit of a shake. Bring it back down to the mat. Pausing, noticing any changes or shifts. And then bringing that left ankle right below the right knee. Maybe grabbing a block if you need one. And moving over to the right. Using whatever props feel better for you. Or none. And breathing here. And then bringing this whole shape back to center. Taking that left leg straight up to sky, giving a little bit of shake. And bringing both feet back down to the mat, giving the knees a little bit of a windshield wiper here. Maybe the arms are down the side. And you're welcome to stay here, moving your knees. Or if you like, you can hug the knees in towards the chest. Give the whole back a massage. Finding what feels good in your practice. My darling cat Al has joined us to help. And then coming to stillness, I'm going to invite you to take a really long stretch. Arms either up behind you, up overhead. Toes stretching away from the body, getting nice and stretched out. Take a breath in. Pause. And release. We'll go through a little bit of deep relaxation. So finding whatever feels like the most supported posture for you. Traditionally, Shavasana is lying down, but you can take it seated or leaning against the wall if that feels better for you. And then just allowing your body to settle. Feeling the earth rise up to meet and support you. And allowing your body to release into that support. The beginning at the top of your head, right at the crown of your head, start to feel a warm, nurturing energy. You feel it start to move down your head, your face, your neck, into your shoulders, your arms, into your hands and fingers, releasing any tension, any tightness. So what is left is ease and peace. And then moving to the pit of your throat, begin to feel the same warm, nurturing sensation, warm, nurturing energy. Start to move down your torso into the lower part of your body and out your feet, moving out tension, tightness, and stress, leaving behind ease and peace. And take the next few moments in ease and peace. You are welcome to stay here as long as you like. Whenever you're ready, just begin to deepen your inhales and lengthen your exhales. Bring small movements to the fingers and the toes. Expand to the wrists and ankles. And if it would feel good to you, take a long stretch. When you feel ready, bring your feet to the mat or your knees in towards you and turn to one side. Just pausing there for a moment. Noticing any shifts or any changes that have taken place during your practice. And then, whenever you're ready, press yourself up to a seated position. And as is custom in my tradition of yoga, we'll bring our hands palm to palm at our heart, bowing chin towards chest as a gesture of gratitude, thanking yourself for taking time for you and your yoga practice. And I thank you for the honor of your practice and your presence. Have a wonderful